The father of the algorithm was born right here in modern-day Uzbekistan. Now, the country is using that ancient legacy to create its digital future. The architectural marvel behind me will be the main launching point of that transformation, a science and technology revolution that will create what many are calling a digital Silk Road. If you use a smartphone, search the internet, or rely on artificial intelligence, you're benefiting from ideas that can be traced back more than 1,000 years. Many of those ideas began here in what is now Uzbekistan. It's a place where geography has been both a blessing and a curse. Uzbekistan is one of only 2 doubly landlocked countries on Earth, cut off from every ocean and wedged between the gravitational poles of China, Russia, Europe, the Middle East, and India. For most of modern history, that geography felt like a constraint. But geography is only part of the story. This land has another inheritance, one that predates borders entirely. For centuries, the cities of Central Asia sat at the intellectual heart of the Islamic Golden Age. Al-Harazmi gave humanity algebra and the concept of the algorithm. Ibn Sina wrote the medical textbook that European universities used for 600 years. Then came the Mongols, then the Russians, and the Soviets. And for decades, this legacy was buried under other people's histories. Uzbekistan is digging it back up, and it intends to build something on top of it. Tashkent surprises you. Wide boulevards, Soviet-era monumentalism sitting alongside glass towers. The infrastructure is real, and that's because the government decided with some urgency that modernization is non-negotiable. But to understand where Uzbekistan wants to go, you have to go to Samarkand. For centuries, the journey was made by camel caravan, 300 kilometers of desert and steppe that took the best part of 2 weeks. I'm doing it in just over 2 hours. The Afrosiyob high-speed rail line, named after the mythical founder of Samarkand, runs at up to 250 kilometers an hour. It's a fitting metaphor for a country in a hurry. Samarkand was one of the great crossroads of the ancient Silk Road, and it carried more than silk and spices. It also carried ideas. Behind me is a monument built in honor of Imam Bukhari, the scholar who traveled across the Islamic world, collecting, verifying, and preserving knowledge. And more than 1,000 years later, people and information are once again using this route, but this time through fiber optic cable and high-speed train. Samarkand was never just a city. At its peak, it was a grand idea, or rather, proof that civilization could flourish at the crossroads of everything. Since gaining independence in 1991, Uzbekistan has been quietly reclaiming that story. Now, for the first time, it is bringing together a legacy that was long scattered across continents. 1,000 years of science, philosophy, mathematics, and medicine, not divided among distant archives, libraries, and forgotten monuments, but reunited under one roof. Back in Tashkent, a building unlike anything else in Central Asia has opened its doors. The Center for Islamic Civilization is vast. Tens of thousands of square meters dedicated to galleries, libraries, and research halls, crowned by a 65-meter dome whose interior is mapped with the actual night sky above Tashkent, rendered in Swarovski crystals and light. But Uzbekistan didn't build this to win design awards. It built it to make a statement about where it came from and where it intends to go. This is not just a museum that's honoring the past. With these murals, Uzbekistan is making a bold statement about its future. Centuries ago, cities like Tashkent, Samarkand, and Bukhara drew some of the world's greatest minds. Today, it hopes to do it again by using its rich history to create a new foundation for science, technology, and innovation. The Guinness record is impressive, but what's more impressive is how they earned it. Because this museum isn't content to put old manuscripts behind glass and call it preservation. It's using the most advanced technology available to make a 1,000-year-old conversation feel like it's still happening.
So here you will find history, science, artificial intelligence, and modern technology all working together. Our goal is not only to preserve history, but to make it engaging and accessible for new generations. I have visited many museums around the world. Of course, institutions like the Louvre, the British Museum, and Topkapı Palace Museum are among the world's great museums. Our ambition is for the center to stand alongside them by combining scholarship, technology, and innovation to tell the story of Islamic civilization in a modern way. That is what we are working toward.
Behind many of the digital experiences visitors see is Neovex, a homegrown technology company using artificial intelligence, immersive media, and interactive design to bring history into the digital age.
Gave the world algebra, who mapped 1,000 stars.
Today, we're going behind the scenes, like with this robot that maybe one day will replace traditional museum guides.
These are our robot guides. They can conduct tours of the Center of Islamic Civilization, show visitors the exhibits, and answer their questions. Now I will show you how it works.
With a few clicks, the robot is off, taking us on a path through the museum. It's not quite R2-D2, but then again, R2-D2 never knew the difference between a Timurid arch and a Seljuk minaret. I followed him anyway. In another corner of the museum, the experience goes beyond robotics. Using artificial intelligence trained on thousands of historical texts, visitors can hold conversations with some of history's greatest minds.
These are our avatars. We developed them for the center because we wanted to bring history to life. Instead of simply looking at exhibits, visitors can interact with historical figures, ask questions, and receive answers.
Tell me about your life and why you're important to humanity.
I am Abu Ali ibn Sina, born in the year of 980 to a father from Balkh and a mother near Bukhara, and I lived for 57 years before departing this world. My importance to humanity lies in my diverse contributions as a physician and philosopher, where I sought to uncover the laws of nature to serve mankind, and advocated for the comprehensive development of the human mind.
Behind the technology is years of research, combining digitized manuscripts with AI models refined by historians and scholars.
We collected a large number of books from our national library and turned them into an electronic database. We trained our artificial intelligence using those materials before historians and scientists tested the avatars to ensure they could answer questions accurately and reliably.
Then there are interactive maps, whereby virtual reality allows visitors to explore centuries of Islamic civilization without leaving the building.
This is an interactive dashboard of the center. It contains many different projects. Visitors can learn about our scholars, the center itself, its exhibitions and films. We also offer virtual journeys.
All right, let's see what 1,000 years ago looks like in 2026. I played some video games in my life, but I was not expecting any of them to be set in 15th century Samarkand. You do get a sense of what it felt like to stand here when this was the center of the known world. Uzbekistan is acutely aware that across much of the world, Islamic civilization is misunderstood, reduced to headlines, stripped of its intellectual and scientific inheritance. The center was built, in part, to push back against that. The man responsible for translating that mission into reality is Firdavs Abdukhalikov, the center's director.
yılda
In 2017, Uzbekistan's voice resonated across the world in an entirely new way. From the rostrum of the United Nations, the President of the Republic of Uzbekistan, Shavkat Miromonovich Mirziyoyev, delivered an important address to the international community. He conveyed a simple yet profoundly important truth to the world. The sacred religion of Islam is a religion of peace. It is a religion of goodness, compassion, enlightenment, and constructive endeavour. At the root of Islamophobia lies ignorance, because many people do not truly understand the nature and essence of Islam. That is why the President declared, "We will fight ignorance through enlightenment." This very principle, combating ignorance through enlightenment, became the central idea and guiding mission of the Islamic Civilization Center. In 2017, our esteemed President announced, "We will establish the Islamic Civilization Center in Tashkent." 9 years have passed, and today we can see what a magnificent, impressive, beautiful, and meaningful center has been created in Tashkent. We held the first international forum on Islamic civilization. The forum took place not only in Tashkent, but also in Samarkand and Termez. As part of the forum, we invited 500 guests from 50 countries. Among them were more than 20 ministers, heads of major international organizations, as well as approximately 10 grand muftis from different countries. In addition, we invited nearly 400 internationally renowned scholars. The participants adopted a separate document, the Declaration of the International Forum on Islamic Civilization. The participants also adopted a special address on our esteemed President. In that address, they expressed their appreciation and stated, "We stand with you and, together with you, we are ready to contribute through practical action to promote the idea of Islamic civilization throughout the world and to presenting our sacred religion of Islam as a religion of peace, enlightenment, and constructive endeavor."
For most of its history, Uzbekistan's landlocked geography was an economic problem with no clear solution. You can't build a port in the middle of a continent, right? But the digital economy doesn't care about coastlines. The same position that once made trade difficult now makes Uzbekistan a natural relay point for data, capital, and talent moving between those worlds. And that is the promise of the Digital Silk Road, a 21st century superhighway where information, technology, and innovation travel the same corridors that once carried the world's goods and ideas. And a growing number of Uzbek companies are betting their futures on it. One of the people building the infrastructure for that bet is Muhammad Khalil, founder of Startup Garage, the country's largest venture studio.
When we started our own startup back in 2021, so we didn't have any chance, to participate in any acceleration or incubation programs in Uzbekistan. Back then, we struggled a lot, and we participated in the foreign accelerators and incubators. Then there were a lot of talents in Uzbekistan as well. So a lot of people asked me how we can build the startups. Then the idea came out, Startup Garage should be launched as soon as possible to support the talents in Uzbekistan. Now this is what we are doing. So when we launched the Startup Garage in Uzbekistan, our aim was to help the founders in Uzbekistan. And within 2 years, we have gathered more than 400 talents in Uzbekistan. And they were ambitious, they were talented, and they were building the great products and services that can scale beyond the borders. So then my mission took the next phase. So I planned to, cross the borders. So then launched the Qatar Startup Garage office and the Casablanca last year to help not only our founders but their founders also to come to Uzbekistan, to Central Asian market for as an soft landing programs, and also helping the founders in Uzbekistan to scale in North Africa and the MENA.
Startup Garage is building the ecosystem, but the companies filling it are solving problems that are immediate, practical, and unglamorous in the best way possible. That's the market Venons was built for, an IT company focused on digitizing the business processes of Uzbek companies. CTO Shaksod Yuldashev took me to see the country's largest edible oil producer. And when you're moving this kind of volume, bottles, pallets, shipments, every day and at scale, inventory tracking isn't an operational detail. But their AI tracking software is turning movements on the factory and warehouse floor into valuable, usable data.
Still in Uzbekistan, many businesses use paper, Excel files for disconnected systems. This provides to decide decisions not very fast. At Venons, we can help companies digitize, automate business processes, and working with real-time data. We learned that when we started working with big companies like Pure Milky or another big companies in Uzbekistan, we can teach the business processes, the key business processes to small businesses.
Digitize the factory floor. Okay. Now try digitizing something that has been doing business the same way for 1,000 years. Welcome to the Silk Road 21st Century Edition. Every stall in this market now carries a QR code. Scan it and you can see what the vendor is selling, check inventory, and make payments without cash changing hands. This wasn't a commercial project. Realsoft built it for free. I met up with the company's investment director, Abdukhalikov, to understand what it actually takes to digitize an economy from the ground up.
Private-public partnership model has proved itself as being one of it's a win-win for both ends, like for the public sector, like for the government, as well as for the private companies, because when we see an obvious 10x improvement or like an obvious efficiency gains that are in store for us, we make the bet with the confidence of potential gains. And that I have to admit, it doesn't take too much of an effort in the current environment of rapid modernization. So everybody's busy with their own thing. So some people, although they have like 30-year-old industry expertise, they can't reconcile that expertise with modern technologies or the capabilities of what modern technologies, what they can do with it. So our outside the box perspective gives us a level of confidence that can that enables us to make such big bets.
Where does Uzbekistan have the competitive advantage compared to, let's say, Eastern European markets or the markets in India or Southeast Asia?
The first advantage is the young population. So over 60% of the population is below 30, and then they're hungry for new skills, new knowledge. So software development being a hot topic of the hot passion of the day for the younger generation. They're already digitally literate. Digital literacy is one of the key driving factors, and the younger population, as well as we're starting from ground zero in many respects. So digitalization, as I said, is not something that has existed, so it doesn't have any legacy issues in terms of introducing new legislation or making it compatible with the old legislation. So it's a new thing. So we're starting from low base, and then it gives us a fresh start. It's like a sort of a startup environment for digitizing. So compared to lots of experience that many European countries have, and then they have to reconcile the existing systems with the new innovations. So that's where we see our advantage.
So the factories are connected, the markets are online. The last piece of the puzzle is the money itself. Because let's face it, this digital infrastructure means nothing if people are still settling transactions in cash. At the risk of sounding too obvious, that clicking sound means we've come to the right place. Click is the country's dominant payment platform. and I sat down with the company's chief product officer, Abdukhalikov, to get an idea of what the future of digital payments will look like.
Yes, Click was actually founded back in 2011. At the time, cash was everywhere. A complete transition, a transformation driven both by the government and by technology, happens gradually. It's a step-by-step shift from cash to online payments. And this process is evolving very steadily. And that was when Click entered the picture, offering a new tool. Click's first product gave people the ability to check their card balance online. Using a mobile phone, you could check your card balance, see whether your salary had come in, and whether there was any money left on the card. This gradual, step-by-step progress led to the development of open banking in Uzbekistan. Click also continued to develop specifically in the area of payments. Today, with more than 23 million users, Click provides products that allow people to make payments and transfers, as well as handle everyday tasks through our app.
The technology that was available back in 2011 when you were originally setting up as a mobile app, it's very different today. And one of the reasons why you're able to expand is to tap into the potential of artificial intelligence. Talk to me in terms of the back end and how the customer also experiences this.
The way to explain it is that technology is developing extremely quickly. For the end user, it's simply a matter of tapping pay and seeing payment successful a couple of seconds later. It feels almost instantaneous, and that's it, the task is done. But behind that simple action are a vast number of processes. We use artificial intelligence and other technologies to verify the user, their device, and determine the processing route. Then there are payment integrations and gateways, where the system resolves which response should be sent to each partner. At the same time, our anti-fraud systems come into play. They are also partly AI-based and check for any potential risks, fraud, or suspicious activity at that particular moment. All of these processes are interconnected.
And behind every fintech company operating in this country, setting the rules of the road and increasingly actively shaping where that road leads to, sits the Central Bank of Uzbekistan. This isn't a regulator content to watch from a distance. The central bank has launched its own innovation hub, which one could say is a signal of exactly the kind of international credibility Uzbekistan is trying to build.
The central bank and Uzbekistan as a whole are taking serious initiatives and they're trying to modernize the whole fintech ecosystem. One of the key initiatives is that we are now finalizing our financial technology development strategy until 2030, which is going to be a main document for us, which gives rise to several key initiatives to be implemented until 2030. And the main agenda, main idea or objective of the strategy is to also position Uzbekistan as a central jurisdiction for fintech companies around the world to apply and to position, to locate the companies in Uzbekistan. So Uzbekistan is going to be a fintech hub in Central Asian regional market.
Let's take it a step further. Artificial intelligence, digital currencies, fraud prevention. This is the next wave that's coming, we know it. Where does Uzbekistan Central Bank sit in all this? Where does it fit into the picture?
Since recent administrative reforms in terms of developing financial sector, our President, His Excellency Shavkat Mirziyoyev, clearly defined central bank as a main governing body responsible for developing financial technologies in Uzbekistan. And all those points that you raised, like fraud prevention, AI, and cybersecurity, financial inclusion, they all comprise of this, the whole fintech ecosystem. And central bank, as I mentioned, plays a key important role here, and it's very supportive. For example, continuing our support mechanisms, we are now working in terms of transforming our regulatory sandbox. So regulatory sandbox is basically a platform for companies who are working or launching fintech products or solutions using the same areas like AI, cybersecurity, fraud prevention, RegTech, SupTech. They can launch their product in a limited environment and pilot them. If they go successful, they can go to the whole market. Another important point is that we are launching a venture fund on the Central Bank of Uzbekistan to support again fintech startups or fintech financial innovation products. So venture fund with amount of $50 million is going to be a key financial funding instrument for our financial products or digital payment apps or other startups which can launch their product and expand their operation beyond Uzbekistan towards global.
From doubly landlocked to digitally connected, that's the arc Uzbekistan is trying to bend. What's striking here is how deliberate the country has threaded its past into its present. The intellectual tradition which gave the world algebra and medicine and astronomy is the same tradition now producing software engineers, fintech platforms, and AI systems. That Silk Road wasn't just a trade route, it was a data network, and Uzbekistan is rebuilding it.
We've seen the startups, the AI, the fintech, and the ambition, but they're all part of a much bigger strategy. Uzbekistan isn't simply building a technology sector. It's positioning itself as the digital crossroads of Eurasia, where information, investment, and innovation move as freely as goods once did along the ancient Silk Road. Well, that's it for this edition of NexTech. I'm Adijan Ayanlar in Tashkent in Uzbekistan, and we'll see you next time.